Choosing a best entry-level solid-state disk is getting tougher these days, with plenty of models available from all popular brands. Recently, Kingston has added another model, the UV400 SSD Now series, based on TLC NAND for the budget segment category. Earlier models like V100, 200 and 300 from Kingston are all built using MLC chips, and now models with UV tag are based on TLC technology. I had used the entire Kingston's UV and V series right from their V100 models, and I always admire their better endurance rating even for a low capacity disk than the competitors. In this video, I'm going to look into the performance of this newly launched Kingston UV400 SSD. And before diving into the benchmarks, I like to notify you not to expect enthusiast level of performance from these value for money drives. These cheap models are targeted for cost-conscious buyers who wish to step up from their traditional hard drive, and such users will see an enormous speed difference compared to their previous hard drives. I picked the low-capacity 120GB disk to test in this video. My model doesn't come with any upgrade kit or software bundle inside the package other than the drive. Previously, Kingston usually provides a 7mm to 9mm spacer in all of their models. The SSD case is all metal and body is very rugged with good fit and finish overall. This model is available in various capacities right from 120GB to 960GB to suit your budget. It uses the TLC NAND chips for storage and a 4-channel Marvel controller to deliver sequential speeds up to 550 megabytes per second for read and 500 megabytes per second for write. With 1 million mean time between failure rating. And these are the endurance rating for various capacities. Here Kingston always provides better rating over the competitors. Based on 15nm NAND chips from Toshiba, drive is connected to SATA 3 port, and don't worry about this IR number since my room temperature was around 32 degrees while creating this video. It has usable capacity of 111GB and I filled with 40% of data to get realistic scores. And here is my computer configuration that is used to benchmark this SSD. First test with crystal disk mark with interval time set to 5 and 1GB data size. This tool will test both sequential and random read-write performance using incompressible data. And here is the result for 1GB data size. Sequential scores closely matched the claim speed for 120GB and 4K performance was decent too. And result for 2GB data size. Now with 32GB data size. That's a good result for an entry-level model. And next with my favorite benchmark tool, the AS SSD. Here is the total score with test data set to 1GB. Almost matching with crystal disk mark result. But the scores is bit below than other budget drives that I had tested recently. This copy bench test creates 3 different files for these 3 program types and records their speed and transfer time by moving them within the SSD. The results are similar to other TLC drives which I had seen. Next with Anvil Storage Benchmark. This software evaluates performance of every aspect of the SSD. It runs complete set of tests for 4K random data at different queue depths. You can even configure the compression levels for the test data. I left everything at default before running the test. Here's the final score at default settings. With application preset selected, which simulate real usage and gives us an idea of how well the drive performs when it is used as a boot drive. Coming to Auto Benchmark. This tool uses compressible data for testing. With 256 MB total length selected and data transfer size from 512 bytes to 32 MB, let's start the benchmark. I prefer this method of testing as it deals with raw data rather than the incompressible data, which gives more realistic results. And don't get worried about the lower numbers, it is usual with compressible data. Now let's see how the drive handles under real usage. I will measure the boot speed first. The disk was cleanly formatted and installed with Windows 10 with some basic applications configured. It consumed 12 minutes for OS installation after deducting time taken for user interaction menus. That's 15 seconds to boot. Now I am going to do some file transfer tests to simulate what a daily user does in his computer. For this, I am going to use the RAM disk for transferring files. RAM disk is created from free RAM space and then converted as a separate partition. With that space, I will conduct the file copy process test. Our random access memory provides enormous bandwidth, even the world's fastest SSD can't match it. Just check the crystal disk core for our RAM disk here for reference. So there is nothing to bottleneck the read-write performance of our test drive. Copying a 1.7 GB movie file to the RAM disk, that gives us the read speed of our SSD. So that came to 420 megabytes per second average read speed. With the same file, I am transferring it back to the Kingston disk, which gives me a write speed of around 350 megabytes per second. Repeating the same benchmark with a folder containing 476 picture files of 1 GB in total size. Coming to conclusion, I find the write performance is little improved over the previous UV300 model. The main advantage for UV400 is it is very cheap to buy with high endurance rating and 3-year warranty. Though read speeds are decent, this drive performed below my expectations compared to other entry-level TLC drives, especially the write performance. Though these drawbacks will not hold back a casual user coming from a traditional hard drive, and such users will remain happy with this Kingston model. If your work involves around frequent writes, then this model is not for you. And for that, I am going to suggest you a model from PNY, the CS1311 SSD, which I had tested in earlier video. It surprised me with best overall performance for cheap price. Just click the button above to check the PNY drive review. And here's a screenshot comparing our test drive to the PNY model which I had suggested. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the like button if you find this video useful.